this is the one thing where people do injure their backs. It's not usually the big heavy things that you injure your back on, but it's the small lighter things. But what is also going to help is if you're not injuring yourself lifting up things unnecessarily or lifting things that are a little bit beyond your capability. So the first thing, and this is a technique that the post office use, is about, is it safe for me to lift that box? Is it safe for me to lift that thing? How do I know a sealed box is light enough or heavy, is too heavy for me? So let's have a look at the 3 boxes we've got below. 3 different boxes, 3 different sizes, they are sealed. I don't necessarily know what's inside them, so how am I going to tell whether I can lift it or not, whether it's possible for me to lift it? And this will apply to anything. It could even be a fixed piece of furniture. How do you know whether I can lift that chair? So what the post office say is kick it. Not literally, but try and move it with your foot. So if you can move it gently with your foot, it should be very easy to pick up. And we'll have a look at what's in this one. So in we go, and yes, lots of stuffing, very small object. So let's look at the other 2 that are here. So this one, yeah, I can pretty much move that. So I should be able to lift it up. I can move it around with my feet quite nicely. And if I open it up, it says photos on it and books. Let's just double check. Yeah, it's full of photos and books, but it should be the sort of weight that if I'm careful, I should be able to lift safely. So what's in the last box? This is a tiny box. This is a shoebox size, but it's very difficult for me to move it. So that would indicate probably a little bit too heavy. So let's have a look. And sure enough, we've got 2 10-kilo dumbbells. So don't be surprised by the size of the package. Use that little technique to see whether it's liftable or not. Okay, we're looking at some safe lifting techniques, and I'm sure if you've been in the work environment, you would have had safe lifting training. One of the first things that we've talked about is, can I actually lift it? So it's give it the kick test, see if you can move it with your foot. You never know. Sometimes if you're trying to lift a chair or a table, you find that it's actually screwed to the floor and you strain your back trying to lift it up. But again, you don't know whether what the weight of the object is beforehand. So a quick test is just that little kick test, or can I move it with my feet? The next thing to think about is where am I taking this? What's the route? And you need to prepare your route ahead of time. Don't pick something up, especially if it's heavy, and then start worrying about what doors you've got to go through, the staircase you've got to go up, the obstacles that you've got to go through and around. Have that planned beforehand so that you can clear the route. And again, if an object is a little bit heavier or a little bit bigger, get somebody else to give you a hand. So what I'm going to do very quickly now is just go through some very basic lifting technique that's going to help protect your back. No different to any other form of weightlifting that you might do in the gymnasium. You're trying to keep your back strong and straight. Okay? And you're going to do, as they say with skiing, bend the knees. Keep your knees bent. Use your thighs, the bigger muscles of your thighs, to do all the heavy work, all the heavy lifting. Okay? So I'll just demonstrate and then we'll talk through the key principles that you're looking at. This may feel a little bit odd, and especially if you're practicing these things out in the public areas and supermarkets, it may feel a little bit weird in supermarkets or stuff like that, but it's going to save your back. Okay? So what we want you to do is bend your knees. Approach the object. We've already given it a test. Can we lift it or not? Okay? I'm going to actually lift this small package off the top to start off with. Better to lift from a height than to lift from the floor. So we come in, we get a nice broad stance, so we're nice and stable. We come in, we get hold of the object, nice and firmly. Keep a nice straight back, in other words, bum out, head up, and lift. Once we've got the object, again make sure it's nice and close to the body, and away we go. We plan our route, we wander on. Do the same demonstration with the stool, so I'm now lifting from much lower down. Again, approach the object. You can use this sort of 45-degree stance or a squat stance. 45 degrees probably a bit easier. Come in, one knee on the ground if needs be. Get a nice grip on the object. Pull it in, pick it up, and away we go. When we come to put it down, it's just the same as we did before, but in reverse. Again, get a nice solid base. Squat down, keeping your head up, back straight, using your legs to do the lifting. Quite often, and I'll do this very gently, we make the mistake of just literally bending down to pick something up like this. Incredible strain on your lower back. The same with stacking shopping baskets, incredible strain on your lower back. So, and it does look a little bit strange, but it will help your back. If you can, lock and load like this, if it's a shopping basket or something like that, before you pick it up, much, much better for you. Thank you.